Welcome to our JavaScript web course. In this video, we will cover the string object. This chapter not only covers the string object, but also covers cookies and regular expressions. We will not cover cookies in this class. Server cookies are more efficient, and you will probably learn about them should you take a PHP class. Regular expressions are a language in and of themselves, and I have resources for you. So how do we work with the string object? Well, we can create the object using the new keyword, similar to creating an array object. Because we have created an object, the value is not a literal value, but rather an object value, which means that it cannot be compared to another string. Anytime we declare a variable with a string data type, it is automatically looked at as a string object. Therefore, we can automatically access any methods and its property. We can compare this to another string, and it actually does contain the value of the literal text. This is the easier and more practical way to use a string object. The string object has one property, that is the length property, and it returns the number of characters in a string. That will include white space. The char@at method. This returns the character at a specified index position in a string. So string numbering begins with 0. This method would take a parameter, which would be the position in the string, and it would return the character at that string. For example, at position 0, we return the uppercase H for hello world here. The char code at method is similar, except it returns the Unicode character code at a specified index position. So here, if we use position 0, which is the capital letter H, it will return 72. The from char code method does the opposite. It takes the character code as a parameter and it will return the character. This method requires the string object as we see here, similar to using a method from the math object. So from char code 65 would return A. You can pass multiple values and you can return a longer string, as we see here. The concat method joins two strings. So here I have string 1 and string 2. The syntax for this method takes two parameters. The first parameter would be an empty space. The second parameter would be a string. So I have string1.concat space comma string 2, and that would join these two strings with a space in between. The slice method. This extracts a part of the string and returns the extracted part in a new string. To use this and the following methods, you would actually need to set up a variable to hold this value. I am just showing you the values in an alert. This method takes two parameters, the starting index position and the ending index position. If you only specify one position, it will be the starting position and it will go into the end of the string. So here I have string.slice 0, 5, and that would extract the word hello. Should I use the values 6 and 8, it would extract two characters, capital W-O. Substring is identical to slice for all practical purposes. However, there is a difference. In the event that the starting position should be greater than the ending position, substring will swap those positions. Slice will just return an empty string. So here with Substring, It also takes two values, the starting position and the ending position. As we see here, if I use 0, 5, I will retrieve the string hello. If you omit the ending position, it will go from the starting position to the end of the string. We also have the substr method, which is pronounced substring. This differs from the previous two methods. If one parameter is specified, it will start at that position and extract to the very end. However, if two parameters are specified, the first parameter will be the starting position, and the second parameter will be the number of characters. In this example, 6, 8, we extracted the whole word world because we extracted 8 characters. The index of method. This returns the position of the first occurrence of a specified search string. So here you need to pass it the search string that you are searching for. Again, strings are zero-based, so if this was in the first position, it would return 0. It only returns the first occurrence. There could be more than one occurrence. So here I have the index of L, and we see in our string there are 3 L's. It will return the position of the first occurrence. However, if the search string is not found in the original string, it will return -1. Index of is commonly used to determine if a search string exists more than if it does exist and where. So you will see this being used in order to test if it exists or not, and if it doesn't, we will see the -1 being returned. We also have last index of, which is identical to index of, except that it returns the last occurrence of the specified search string. So here, if I'm using the letter L, the last occurrence of L would be at position 7. Again, if the string is not found, it returns -1. We have the two uppercase and two lowercase methods. As the name infers, to uppercase will convert a string to all uppercase letters. To lowercase will convert a string to all lowercase letters. These methods do not take any parameters. We just execute that method on the string itself. As shown here, string.toUppercase will change the letters to uppercase. String.toLowercase will change the letters to lowercase. There could be times when you are asking the user for some kind of a value and you want to check to make sure that value is correct. Now, the user could type in that value in all combinations of upper and lowercase letters. So when you compare the actual value to the accepted value, you would either uppercase it or lowercase it first and then compare it to a value of the same case. Finally, we have the trim method. The trim method removes any white space before and after the string, not in the middle of it. This is a very useful and important method. Whenever you are retrieving form data, you always want to make sure that there is no extra white space in that data. One reason is that form data is typically entered into a database at some point, and we always want to make sure that the data is correct. Now, it's really hard to see the trim method in action. So here I have a string, and you can see that I have 2 characters of white space to the left and 2 characters of white space to the right. If I first extract the length, it returns 16. Now I will trim this and then return the length, and it will return 12. So you can see, indeed, that my trim method has worked.